When deploying applications in Kubernetes, the immediate challenge is achieving stable service discovery and internal routing. ClusterIP is the default service type, providing a stable virtual IP address accessible only from within the cluster network. This virtual IP is not routable externally. It functions by creating an entry in the kube-proxy configuration, typically using iptables rules or IP virtual server, mapping the cluster IP and port to the backend pod endpoints. For instance, a service defined with type ClusterIP ensures that all pods within the cluster can reliably communicate with the service without needing to know the ephemeral pod IPs. This is essential for microservice communication, where stability and internal load balancing are paramount for application resilience. To define a ClusterIP service, the YAML manifest specifies type ClusterIP and lists the selector matching the target deployment labels. kube-proxy monitors these definitions. When a request hits the ClusterIP, kube-proxy intercepts it. If using iptables mode, a chain of rules handles the destination network address translation, distributing traffic across the available pod IPs based on a round-robin or session-based algorithm. This internal load balancing happens entirely within the node kernel space, ensuring high performance for inter-service communication. Remember, the ClusterIP itself is a construct managed by the control plane, specifically the service controller, ensuring uniqueness across the cluster and providing the necessary stability layer. While ClusterIP handles internal traffic perfectly, exposing services to the outside world requires a different approach. The simplest method for external exposure, often used in development or testing environments, is NodePort. NodePort builds upon ClusterIP functionality. It allocates a static port across every worker node in the cluster, typically in the high range, 30,000 to 32,767. Any traffic hitting any node's IP address on this specific node port is automatically forwarded to the service's cluster IP and subsequently to the backend pods. This mechanism bypasses the need for an external load balancer, making it quick to deploy for initial external access. When a service is defined as NodePort, the Kubernetes API server reserves the specified or automatically assigned port on all worker nodes. This reservation means that if you have 3 nodes, all 3 nodes listen on that exact port. The critical risk here is port collision. If 2 different NodePort services attempt to use the same port, the second deployment will fail. Furthermore, since the port range is restricted, scaling many externally exposed services using NodePort becomes impractical. The traffic flow is NodeIP plus NodePort to ClusterIP to PodIP. This simplicity comes at the cost of managing the restricted port range and potential conflicts. Implementing NodePort requires defining the service type and optionally specifying the NodePort value within the allowed range. System analysts must ensure that the infrastructure firewall rules permit ingress traffic on the chosen NodePort across all worker nodes. If the firewall blocks this range, the service remains inaccessible externally, even though Kubernetes has configured the internal routing successfully. This setup is often used when an external non-Kubernetes load balancer, like an existing hardware appliance, handles the initial ingress and forwards traffic to the cluster nodes on the NodePort. The external device handles the standard port translation, such as port 80 to the NodePort.
NodePort has inherent limitations for production environments. Firstly, it exposes the service via a non-standard high port, which is often undesirable for public-facing applications like HTTP on port 80. Secondly, clients must know the IP address of at least one worker node. If that node fails, the client connection breaks, unless a separate external mechanism handles health checks and failover across the node IPs. This lack of native, resilient external load balancing necessitates the use of the load balancer service type for robust cloud deployments where high availability is mandatory. Load balancer services are the standard solution for exposing production workloads in cloud environments. When you define a service as type load balancer, Kubernetes interacts directly with the underlying cloud provider's application programming interface via the Cloud Controller Manager. For Amazon Web Services, this provisions an elastic load balancer. For Google Cloud Platform, it provisions a network load balancer. This external resource receives traffic on standard ports, like port 80 or 443, and automatically distributes it across the node ports of the worker nodes, abstracting the node IPs entirely from the client. This provides a single, stable entry point. The load balancer service manifest looks similar to NodePort, but the Cloud Controller Manager handles the provisioning asynchronously. The service status field will populate with the external IP or hostname provided by the Cloud Load Balancer once provisioning is complete. Crucially, load balancer services often support advanced features like session affinity, which can be configured using the session affinity field set to ClientIP. This ensures requests from the same ClientIP are consistently routed to the same backend pod, essential for stateful applications. However, relying on ClientIP affinity can hinder effective load distribution if traffic originates from a limited set of source IPs.
A critical optimization for load balancer and NodePort services is the external traffic policy field. By default, it is set to cluster, meaning traffic might be routed to a pod on a different node than the ingress node, requiring an extra network hop. Setting external traffic policy to local prevents this extra hop. The traffic is only routed to pods residing on the ingress node. While this saves network latency and preserves the client's source IP address, it can lead to uneven load distribution if the pods are not evenly spread across the nodes. System analysts must weigh latency reduction against potential load imbalance when configuring this policy. Choosing the correct service type depends entirely on the requirement. Use ClusterIP for all internal service-to-service communication, where external access is neither needed nor desired. Use NodePort only for testing, or when an external load balancer is already configured to handle ingress to the cluster nodes on the high port range. For production deployments in public clouds, LoadBalancer is the definitive choice, providing resilient, standard port access and automatic cloud integration. Remember, load balancer services typically incur cloud provider costs for the provisioned resource, unlike the free internal routing provided by ClusterIP and NodePort.